So, what's the number one misconception about love, and how do we turn toxicity into healthy boundaries? Listen, at the end of the day, I think that all of us have seen tons of movies about what we think love should be. And there's this unspoken thing that it should just be there, it should just work, it should be just easy, and then there should be fireworks and chemistry, but you and I both know that that's just not true. That at the end of the day, to make a relationship work requires two people who have the strength to be able to have one hard conversation after the next. And when you're unable to do that, your relationship becomes super toxic. It becomes very messy. It becomes full of drama. And then you find yourself at the end of another relationship wondering where all the good men are, where all the good women are, why you can't make it work, why your picker is broken. And really, at the end of the day, it's you have patterns of unhealthy habits that keep showing up in your relationships. Like you're not speaking up for yourself, or you don't know how to confront things that bother you, or you let things go when you really should be addressing them. At the end of the day, relationships we're not entitled to them. I'm going to say that again because I feel like we all need to hear that. We are not entitled to relationships. They are a gift that we are given. And it's a gift that needs respect, it needs nurturing, and it needs a lot of tender loving care, which is what we do through communication. And being able to have solid boundaries keeps that infrastructure together. So what do you do though when you go, okay, I'm making a lot of mistakes. I hear you, Arica. Like, I know that relationships can be challenging, but I still thought in the back of my mind that it would be much easier than what it is, or everything should just be easier. And so I keep finding over and over that that's just not the case. Well, wonderful, because you're probably entering your wake-up call that you need to start facing yourself, taking some accountability of like, hey, I might need to change things, because I have this saying that I say, everywhere I go, there I am. And what I mean by that is just because you move on to another relationship, the challenge is you are still a part of the relationship. And I think with this entitled thought system that we have, we just think it's the next person is going to be different. The next person will never be different if you remain the same. So when we have these toxic habits that keep showing up in our relationship, the first thing that we have to do is be really accountable about how we show up. And truth be told, 9 out of 10 times, we are not being honest in our relationships about how we feel, what we think, what we expect, what we hope. None of those conversations are ever had. And so what happens is you have two people doing life together and a really messy dance, and no one's actually giving any direction or focus to the relationship. So that's where it's toxic. So how do we make this a healthy relationship? We start having the conversations about what's real for us. So let's say that you normally just let things go, or you don't like to talk about the things that really bother you, and you just hope that they're magically going to work themselves out. Well, the reality is that you, my dear, have to get in the driver's seat of your relationship. Most of the time, we're just hoping and wishing that our partner changes. That is a killer strategy that will put your relationship in the grave. No, that's not a strategy at all. The strategy is, how do I change? What are new things that I can do to make this relationship better? Because if you're just waiting on your partner to change, you're going to be waiting for a really long time. And here's why. They can't change and they can't address things that you're not communicating to them. And so a lot of times we're not having those hard conversations with ourselves about what it is that we really want, what's really bothering us, and what it is that we really need. And if you're one of those people, you're like, Arica, that is me all the time. Like, I don't really say what's going on. And then I just end up very frustrated. And so for you, I would encourage you, like, you need to start getting some scripts together of how to communicate that to your partner, how to start initiating these conversations. And if you get scared, what are some backup things that you can say when you get scared? And I created a boundaries Bible for people just like you who struggle with what to say in relationships, who avoid conflict at all costs, or who just get tongue-tied. You know, maybe you did create a very toxic relationship and you don't know how to turn it around. I want you to get that boundaries Bible because it's going to show you exactly what you need to say so that you can start turning your relationship around from going from a toxic relationship to a very healthy relationship, and that you feel empowered and that you feel like you are in the driver's seat of the communication in your relationship so that you have the love that you desire. And you can get that in the comment section below. So instead of ignoring things, it's having a conversation around it. Like, one, it doesn't always have to be heavy. Sometimes it's just about our desires, the things that we want in a relationship. 9 out of 10 times, we're not just telling our partners. Like, if we would give our partners or the people that we're pursuing some kind of goal, some kind of direction, most people are happy to oblige, because the reality is this: the world is not against you. Your partner is not against you. The person that you're pursuing is not against you. Most people, we all want to see each other win. The reason why we don't win and why we find ourselves in so much conflict is because we don't know how to articulate the goal very clearly. So sometimes it's as simple as getting really clear about what you want to happen in the relationship. Hey, it would feel really good to me if you and I would go on a romantic date by the sea once a week. I'm just saying that because I live in the south of France and it's something I love to do. But it's finding out, like, what is it that really is going to bring the spark in for you, and creating a realistic goal. Like, you notice I said I would like to go very specific by the sea for a romantic date once a week. I'm giving the location. I'm giving how many times I would like to see that happen. And so when you give someone very specific directions about your desire, they know how to show up for you. They know how to please you. And here's the challenge. I'll be really honest. Here's a challenge here is when they don't follow through on that, and you have to remind them that's your boundaries, because that's you being true to yourself. And it's saying, hey, I noticed we didn't follow through on this. That's not what we really agreed to. What I would like to see is us to do something this Friday. And so you have to stay in charge of yourself and your boundaries. And sometimes our partners forget. We have to show up and remind them, sorry, there's construction going on, and I'm just going to keep going with this video. And now that's with your desires, but also when it comes to the things that you're not happy about, and I'm going to have to wrap this up because it's too loud. But when it comes to the things that you're not happy about, those also need to be had. And I know most of us don't want to have those conversations because they get sticky, emotions arise, people get heated. At the end of the day, those problems are never going to go away, and your relationship will remain toxic if you don't start using your voice. So if this resonates with you, I want to know in the comment section, what are you most afraid of saying in relationships? And be honest, like, this is your toxic habit that you, my dear, have to change. So check out this next video. It's going to really support you in building that kind of self-esteem that you need, so that when you need to convey your desires or when you need to convey what's not working for you, that you have the support and the infrastructure you need to be able to have those conversations. You are loved. You matter, and it's time to start showing up in your relationships as if you do. I'll see you in my next video.